as most of us will be turning this into all of this. So what are some of the different options that we have?
Stacking Cat.
Hey there everyone, and welcome to the Stacking Kat channel, where I talk all things silver with a little bit of gold. Please don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell. If you enjoy what you see, to hit that like button and share this video. And so the question becomes one where it's not only what are we going to do with our stimulus checks, but what types of precious metals we're going to buy. Let's be honest, a lot of us who watch these channels who stack silver and gold will be using some of those stimulus dollars to buy some precious metals as a way to save for the future. I think it's a lot better investment or a lot better savings account than just holding the cash, especially with the manner that it came in. And so it's a good opportunity to, I think, buy into some more of this silver, maybe some gold, depending on where you are at. And before I get into any of the options that we all have for purchasing the precious metals, I do have to reiterate that I am not a financial advisor. I am simply a silver stacker. And so a few more things, though, before I get into it even further. There are some things that I know a lot of us must take care of financially before we get into this, especially if you have other obligations. And credit card debt, I would have to suggest, is the primary source or the primary thing that you want to put your money towards. Get that credit card debt down, because what's the point really of stacking precious metals if you are holding debt at super high interest rates? Remember that credit card debt really does not have any advantages tied to it. It's not like you're making a mortgage payment and you're working towards owning a house, or even a car payment and you're working towards owning a car. You know, it's just a lot of interest accrued that really should be paid down as soon as possible. Now, I know some people love to do the cash back thing with their credit card. You could gain extra dollars to buy some silver, maybe some gold with it. However, it is really important to pay that thing off as soon as you get that monthly bill, so you do not accrue any of that nasty interest. And also, if you have some other issues, I know a lot of people have lost their jobs. There's a lot of economic and financial insecurity out there. I mean, if you have an electric bill you have to pay or something like that, you have to take care of these things first. This is silver and gold is primarily for savings at this point, a long-term hold, and is something you don't want to get into if you're underwater somewhere else. So with those caveats, let's get into a few of the options that you have out there. Now, I have quite a few different items, as you could see. I don't have any ounces of gold or any like 100-ounce bars of silver, probably because I don't own any 100-ounce bars of silver, but just something that will fall under that $1,400 purview. I'm going to keep it at that just to make it simple. I know if you got like $5,600 and it is all discretionary, it's a lot more easy to afford those things, but maybe you just want to mix and match a little bit, and maybe you don't want to spend all $1,400. Maybe you have room to spend $700. There are a lot of different options out there, including, and I know people are not going to really want to hear this one, and that is not buying anything right away. And don't let FOMO, fear of missing out, get to you. There are very high premiums right now. The silver and gold prices have been really steady for at least the past 6 weeks. I know at the end of January, January 31st, we saw silver rise up to 30, but has since settled right back down in the 25 to 26 range. Gold has been fluctuating in the 1700s. I believe it's gotten as high as like 1750 over the past few weeks. But there's really no indicator that the price is going to shoot super high right away. But premiums do remain high. You might want to hold off like a month or two. I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with that. You want to get in there, grab the silver while you can. Maybe there's a silver shortage coming up, or maybe we're in the middle of a silver shortage. There wasn't as much silver mined that came out of the ground this past year because of the pandemic. However, the premiums may end up hampering any of your future plans. If you could wait like a month or two, and personally, I'm not a speculator, but I do think the premiums will go down a little bit. They have been falling here and there, like 50 cents a week, maybe on certain items. I know like American Silver Eagles, it just has not been the case. The premiums do remain really high on these. Of course, this is the end of the Type 1. So I think Eagle premiums will stay pretty high and probably not something that you're going to want to go ahead and purchase right away. However, there are other good options. Maple Leafs right now are on sale at a couple of different places. We've seen, I believe SD Bullion has a good sale. And be sure to check out my weekly deals show every Tuesday where I go over the best prices in a lot of the different bullion categories. Just another quick plug for the show. And thank you to everybody who's been watching that. It's been getting really good response. I do appreciate it. But there's a lot of different options you could take. You could go with a bigger piece of silver, like a 5-ounce round here, the Aztec, or you could go with a 10-ounce bar, whatever it may be. You have junk silver, of course, which is always really popular. However, the premiums on that are still pretty high. I believe this last Tuesday, the cheapest I could find was $5.99 over spot. That's still really high for junk silver, just compared to previous years. Now, we do have a little of historical context that we could rely on when it comes to premiums. We saw premiums in all these metals jump really high at this time last year, and then we were wondering what would happen in the future. Is this a new normal? Are premiums always going to be sitting at these price points? And so it became a bit of a kind of a cat and mouse game that you have with yourself, if that's even possible, I don't know. But it's just when to strike, when to buy. You don't want to miss out on anything. However, you do still want to make prudent financial decisions. And it's like I just mentioned earlier, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know out there, this is a long-term hold. You know, the difference between buying something here in mid-March versus buying something at the end of April, if you could save $1 on the premium on anything, even like a generic round or whatever it may be, it will be worth it in the future. Keep that dollar cost average as low as possible, because if you're spending, let's say you're going to spend $1,000 of this check, if you bought all silver right now at premiums where they're at, and you end up with maybe with 30 ounces of silver for $1,000, which would probably be right around the spot if you're buying Maples or Philharmonics or whatever it may be, that is going to be maybe 32 ounces of silver here in a month or two. And like I said, this is pure speculation on my part, but if history does provide any guide, I do think that premiums will drop a little bit. Now, there are some other options. If you want to go the gold route, you can always go with like a 1/4 ounce. Here's a maple, which you could usually find at a pretty good price. Go to Silver Gold Bull for those, or your local coin shop. You'll usually find the best deals at either of those places. And that is if they have them in stock at your coin shop. American Gold Eagles, where is that? Oh, pretty expensive still for any type of American Gold Eagle right now. Same thing with the American Silver Eagles. They really are in the same boat. And so, you know, you do want to make sure you're not paying too high of a premium on gold, although the gold premiums are a little bit lower than silver, and I think a better buy at this point. You have like your British sovereigns that you could go ahead and pick up. This is a 1914, yeah. However, you could get a new one, pretty good price on the premiums there. Now it is 0.2354 ounces of gold, so it's not a full 1/4 ounce, but you'll be spending less than $500 most likely on it. Now there are also different routes you could take, such as buying like a tube of American Silver Eagles and just biting the bullet on the premium. You'll get a small discount if you buy an entire tube of once. And a lot of times we don't get the opportunities to have the ability to purchase entire tubes at one time. Like you can buy a tube of Eagles here and a 1/4 ounce maple, for example, probably in the $1,200 range, give or take a few dollars here and there. And if you do wait a little bit, I know that is hard to hear. People don't want to wait, but maybe you will save a little bit more money as well. You know, inflation is on the way. We all know that. Now, there are fears of hyperinflation. However, that will not be happening. I will make a bold prediction. There will be no hyperinflation within like 2 or 3 months. That's just economically impossible. It would have to, I don't even want to speculate on what it would take for it to get to that point. So we still do have a little bit of wiggle room when it does come to purchasing some of this gold and silver. And hey, the government did put this $1,400 check into some of our bank accounts. And, some people do need it for other expenses other than just buying silver and gold. Of course, I empathize with everybody out there that is in that position. But even if you only buy like an ounce or 2 or 5 or whatever it is, there is really never a bad time to purchase any precious metals, just because of the savings aspect alone. You always know that you're holding a tangible asset in your hands. It is always going to be there as long as you have it until the day you want to sell. And hopefully when that day comes, the price of silver will be up enough where you can make a little bit of a return on your investment. So just a few things to consider with this stimulus check. I know there's been a lot of talk about it out there, and I did want to throw my 2 cents in there, just my opinion on what I think is the best route to take when it comes to this specific time in history. Okay, so that is going to wrap things up then for this video, and thank you all for watching. I greatly do appreciate it. And if you'd like to see similar videos about silver with a little bit of gold, then please subscribe and push that notification bell, smash that like button, and leave a comment. And until next time, this is the Stacking Cat.